You know, it's not something parents like to admit, but sometimes it's easier to just give in to kids than to set limits or stick to rules. So today we're sharing ways to avoid being a, quote, pansy parent, the one that gives in to the whining and the pleading. Child psychologist Adam Schwebach is here with strategies to help you hold firm and set healthy boundaries for your kids and for your families. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Brooke.
So it seems we've gone from almost one extreme of it's my way or the highway, right, as a parent, to I'm too tired to deal with this sort of a parenting style. Would you say pansy parenting is a problem of the moment?
I think so. It's a little hard to define pansy parent per se, but I think we've definitely shifted gears from maybe the 40s and 50s, and now parents are sometimes worried about being, hurting their child's feelings or being too rough on them, so they kind of back off on discipline, and they maybe aren't as strict or aren't as firm as they really need to be.
So how do you know? It's hard to self-identify. It's one thing to sit and hear you, make that definition. How do you know if you yourself are a pansy parent?
I think a pansy parent, if you really analyze it yourself as a parent, if you're finding yourself giving in too much, not really setting boundaries, or you're really allowing your child to have a lot of free reign, you're probably moving in a direction of being what we would call a pansy parent.
Let's get to some antidotes, shall we? You have some strategies that can help parents avoid that badge, avoid that title. First, you say set high but reasonable expectations.
Yeah, I think we have to remember that our children, today, they're very strong individuals. They're very capable individuals. And I think it's important for parents to set high expectations. They need to be reasonable, but they also need to be high. We have to remember that our children will only rise to the expectation we set for them. So that is a key factor in this.
You say there could be a negative effect, that we're sending a negative message unintentionally if we jump in and solve our kids' problems as opposed to maybe letting them figure them out.
Right. I tell parents they need to be a consultant and not an executive secretary.
I like that.
An executive secretary is the parent who emails their student's teacher, calls the teacher all the time, tries to solve all of the problems, but they don't really allow the child to engage and interact and do that themselves. It's more important for the parent to be the consultant, but allow the child to really, and especially adolescents, to really allow them to be the ones to solve these issues, make the effort to actually go out and talk to people and resolve the things that they need to do. And the parents are really on the sidelines just being the consultant.
What do you see happen in your practice when parents don't hold children accountable?
Well, I think the biggest problem when they're not held accountable is children, unfortunately, start to make lots of bad decisions, and then their behavior evolves into a point where they're really getting themselves into more and more trouble. They're starting to push social boundaries and social norms, and they maybe start getting in trouble in school more, failing school, obviously having legal issues. So in the long run, it becomes a bigger issue down the road.
I'm thinking of those moments when you may be tempted to be that pansy parent. Let's say you pick up the phone, the whining starts, you automatically give in. You say there's a time and a place for a little more attention, a little more engagement, and that won't set you up for the potential failure to slip into that pansy parenting mode.
Right. I mean, I think it's important for parents to try to take that time to, we're all busy, we got a lot going on, we're distracted by lots of things in the environment now, but we really need to make that effort to just try to listen, pay attention to what our children are needing from us, and I think if we take just a little bit of extra time, it can help us avoid being in that pansy parent trap.
I think just having that title kind of in our head, pansy parent, will at least make us more alert to the problem and hopefully avoid us from slipping into that trap. Adam, thank you so much.